Okay, not your usual brewery tour video from Geterbrewed. So we're in a wet Belfast street at the moment, and you're not going to believe where there's a brewery. So we're at the top of the Ormeau Road in Belfast. There's a friend of ours, Andy, runs a brewery called Ormeau Brewing Co, and we want to shine a light on him because he's a home brewer. He's got passion. He's got an idea to create a community around his brand. And that is really hard to do, and we want you to see how hard this guy works and the effort that he puts into making small batches of beer for you guys to enjoy. And it's only really available in the locality here in places like the Vineyard and Northern Lights Bar and DC Wines. These are all great places that are supporting his idea and his passion. So look, we're going to take you down this, like it's a residential area, and let you see the brewery. You're not going to believe the scale that he's working at. Come and check it out. So when I say you're not going to believe the scale, this is the scale. So Andy's in there working away. Come on in and we'll chat to him. Andy, I have to say I love what you're doing. I'm a home brewer. That's where the whole brand for Geterbrewed came about, from home brewing, and grew into, obviously the beast that it is today. But I love the passion, I love the community, and I guess why I want to shine a light on here is to highlight how hard you work, because people don't get that. Like the fact that you're brewing all the beer yourself, hand packaging every single can, kegging every keg yourself, and you're always on the phone to me in a good way with how to improve this, and giving me feedback to make my business better, which is highly valuable as well. But tell us what it's like running Ormeau.
Yeah, it is hands-on, and when we sort of had the confidence, if you like, to move forward with it as a business, quite an elaborate lockdown project, you might say.
Yeah.
I probably did underestimate how much was involved, and like you say, it is everything from the brewing, which is a pleasure.
Yeah.
Deliveries, I can give myself an hour to do 3 deliveries. In reality, I end up speaking to people, and that's probably because it's one of the best parts of it, getting the feedback, chatting to people, getting it out and about. So I enjoy that. The admin is a burden, without a doubt.
Yeah.
A considerable amount of that. But on the scale that I'm operating, I have to do it all.
Yeah.
Economically, it wouldn't work out otherwise. And if you were to sort of ask someone to put in the effort required, not many people would choose to do it.
Yeah.
So a labour of love, definitely.
Yeah.
But we are determined to make it work. I've got I'm on my own. My wife is very understanding, and she'll be out here plenty of times in the cold.
Yeah.
Hands freezing, packaging, washing cans, and whatever else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not exclusively on my own.
Yeah.
When there's a call to arms, then I've got my
got
wife and my son. Yeah, exactly. So very much a family affair as well. But for me, it's important that the community has a brewery.
Yeah.
I think it's I've seen models in other places, and for me, I think it's an important contribution to a community. And in that respect, I'm very lucky to have the support of local businesses and local customers. So that's good.
One of the things that like our audience has grown, and we're really grateful for it on YouTube and on socials. I mean that sincerely. And people in different parts of the world, like, they pick up your accent right away. Local guy. Yes, you've married a local girl and all, but the legislation and the drinks, industry is different in other parts of the world. So if you were in Australia, for example, with this size of setup, you'd be selling direct.
Yep.
There wouldn't be the stumbling blocks and the difficulties that we have with licensing legislation in Northern Ireland.
Yep.
And that's the message I want to get across to the local people in the area here. So support your local brewery, support Andy and his family, because he's he deserves it. He's earning it, and he's making a quality product that is far surpassing the macro quality stuff that's in you know, it's being just sort of forced down people's mouths locally. You know,
Yeah,
those two, three big brands that are,
Yep.
you can't get a space in there because they're dominating it. So
Yeah, and then people will always come back to the price point as well.
yeah,
And the aspect of that is allow us to sell direct to customer.
Yeah.
Our price point can come down.
yeah,
And then we are on near parity with the macros at that point,
Yeah.
while creating a more social environment as well.
yeah,
A local social environment. And if we were direct to market with a tap room or something like that,
Yeah.
there's no question about it, we'd be employing a couple of people to facilitate that as well.
Yeah.
So that would be a contribution economically to the community as well.
yeah. So when you brew a batch of beer, 150 litre batches,
Yep.
double batch brewing into one of your fermenting tanks.
Yep.
You've 3 tanks.
Yep.
You're flipping and rotating them as quick as you can.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, and that is the challenge. That's on this side here. We've got the 150 litre brew. I need to brew.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tea. Coffee. Awesome.
Okay, we might have to cut that. It's all right.
Just to give you a bit of perspective on the whole family affair aspect of it, Moira's just brought us coffee. So thanks, Moira. So now that we're armed with coffee, thanks to Moira, take us through the kit and the process. So how you do a brew day.
So a brew day. Sorry.
You all right?
So a brew day is 150 litre batches.
Yeah.
You'll notice that I've got my old homebrew equipment,
Yeah.
which I use to provide sparge water.
Yeah.
Double batch fills one 300 litre fermenter.
Yeah.
And I've got my brew day down to, depending on what it is, between sort of 5.5 and 6.5 hours, depending on whether it needs whirlpooling or that sort of thing there.
Per brew length.
Per brew length, yeah.
So when you're doing 2, you're here for a
it's
long
a 13-hour day. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's including a clean up between.
Yeah.
To try and keep my grain as fresh as possible,
Yeah.
I mill some of my own grain still. So
Yeah.
the base malts I get from yourself,
Yeah.
largely ground, but the stuff that I'm using not so much of.
You crush yourself.
Small amounts of Caragold and Crystal and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would actually hand grind them as well between the batches,
Yeah.
just to make sure that I found head retention there's a big difference in head retention
Yeah.
with the fresher malt. So I do still do that.
Yeah.
When I'm operating on a scale as small as this, I can do those small things, those small percentage things, which I believe could make a bit of a difference to the beer as well.
I think they do, and I do value your feedback, and you do consistently, provide it. Because you sent me a message there recently about you'd moved malt supply as we had moved, and you were like,
Yep.
yeah, we've got a wee bit of a colour change, but equally we've got a 6% extract change, and I was like, oh, it allows me to feed that back
Yep.
to our team to say, like, be aware of this, so we can make sure we communicate that message to other people, which is good. So.
And yeah, you need to help the local brewing community out
Yeah.
as well, and if that helps. And ironically, on that particular issue there, yes, it gave us a higher extract, a higher efficiency,
Yeah.
but with a darker colour, it came back as well.
Yeah.
You can easily compensate for both those things as well. So
Yeah.
just with a small hop adjustment in the whirlpool,
Yeah.
you can actually compensate for all those things and benefit from it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
If someone's watching this going, I want to do what you're doing, any tips for them?
Any tips for them? Do not underestimate what
That's what you're
getting
going to say,
involved
don't do it.
No, not at all, not at all. Like I said to you, it's more work. I wouldn't like to be reliant upon doing it for a living at the scale that I'm doing this. I
Yeah.
still have my other job,
Yeah.
which we manage and balance.
Yeah.
Like I say, Moira's as supportive as she is. The main thing
Yeah.
would be a floor drain.
Yeah. I said that to you the first time. I was like, why didn't you? And you were like, I know. But,
I know,
yeah,
and every brew day, I curse myself for not putting a floor drain in.
Yeah.
I've got a friend of ours just up the road who's
Yeah.
talking about brewing a brew shed. Any tips? I just had one line from floor drain.
Yeah.
Cut it in while you can. The other thing about it is, if you were going to do it, you really do need to engage with local people beforehand, set a foundation, get an understanding, get some buy-in. I'm lucky enough to have the support of the Belfast Brew Club.
Yeah.
We support them with some prizes and really, for their weekly raffle, which raises funds for them as well. But there's sort of 30 advocates for the brewery from that one place there, and I'm very grateful of that. So it is important to build foundations, speak to people. If you were thinking about it, come and speak to me. I'm happy to share. I've had people around thinking about it and that sort of thing as well. So it's always better to learn from other people's mistakes rather than make them yourself, and I would definitely say so.
If someone's watching this and they want to get your beer, like I mentioned in the way walking in, that we've got Vineyard, DC Wines, Northern Lights. Is it available online? Is it available for someone outside of Northern Ireland, or is it just for the community in the Ormeau area?
So I get inquiries from all over. Incidentally, there's Ormeau in Australia. And with my accent and with Ormeau, I get people asking in Australia. Now they think I'm based in Ormeau in Australia, so it's not the case. I've struggled a little bit with this. My production is limited. Like I keep emphasizing, I'm lucky enough to have local support. I don't want to spread myself too thin. Shelf space, as you know, is valuable. And the vineyard have been excellent to me down there. So if they've given me a shelf, I'm doing my best to try and keep it stocked. DC Wines on Boucher Road have done exactly the same thing. And I'm kind of really struggling to keep that shelf stocked. So my emphasis is sort of loyalty based, reward people that are supporting me. And as such, I'm really concentrating on local supply.
People come to Ormeau and experience the Ormeau Road.
Most definitely. Northern Lights on tap have been absolutely fantastic. Not just in terms of giving me a tap, but also sort of supporting me in the development and giving me feedback and that sort of thing as well. The Errigal, they've got their rotating taps in there, and you'll often find Ormeau Brewing beers in there. I think they've got the Symphony Vienna Lager on there at the moment. Sunflower in town has been excellent as well.
Good
Bob, I'm really pleased for him, the way that's worked out for him personally. And so they've got Homesick down there at the moment. So good. And also Woodworkers. And they're the main places, and I try and look after those places so people can consistently go in, expect to have a fantastic variety of beers, but have an Ormeau Brewing Company option there as well.
And what have you planned for the future? Is there expansion, or are you just going to stay with the model you have?
I would love to expand and employ someone. I don't yet have the confidence due to our legislative environment to do that. So that would be a pipe dream. What I'm looking at the moment is maximizing my efficiency within the building we're standing in at the moment, minimizing empty tanks, maximizing turnover, delivering consistency. I'm always tweaking small things, but I also struggle with, is that a different beer, or is it a new incarnation of the same beer? You know what I mean? So establishing consistency, which I'm pretty pleased with how we've delivered so far. Improving efficiencies in tank space, maybe trying to increase some yields through some of the hop extract products maybe, and look at that substituting. I've got a beer, Garden Grove, 6% West Coast IPA, very popular. I made that for 9 months without realizing that I was probably making it at a loss. It was so heavily hopped in the whirlpool, so heavily hopped in dry hop as well, that my yield was low, and I wasn't selling it at an appropriate price. So by substituting some hop pellets for hop extract products, but trying to work out whether that's maintenance.
At small scale, I personally don't think it works.
No, and that's why. And yet it's a good beer, which I'm struggling to make at a price point that's appropriate.
I think you just have to charge the price point that gives you a margin. I think to try and use an advanced top product at this scale, I don't think there is efficiency savings in my experience. And even at the scale that our brewery is at Geterbrewed, we have struggled to see the savings with advanced products. Sometimes they add a different depth of flavour, and you can justify it there. But efficiency is not something that.
But if you're making a good beer, I don't want to ruin it by substituting something to. So it's that sort of thing there, which I'm sort of focusing. Making beer is relatively easy. Managing a brewery is something which I can improve upon.
Cool. Andy, thanks for taking time today to have a chat with us.
Thank you.
thanks for supporting Geterbrewed with ingredients and things. One thing I'd like to ask the viewers to do is, because Andy focuses purely on his community in Ormeau here and the bars and independent off sales that support him, it's not possible for him to get the beer everywhere he wants to, but show him some love, follow him on socials, give him a bit of encouragement. The man's really, really working hard here, and in a way that is almost inspiring, you know, for us to see, and we want to help you. So is there anything you can ask people to do to make life easier for you, or any tips you want to give to people for in relation to brewing?
We've only been going 18 months, and sometimes it seems longer for that, but I want to thank the customers.
Yeah.
You know, it's important, and also see brewing as more of a community activity. It's not about drinking.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about getting as much into you as possible or whatever else as well. It's and I think we are moving in that direction. So I need to thank the customers. You know, 18 months later, we wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the feedback. I've enjoyed meeting people as well.
Yeah.
So it's all that's important to me.
Yeah.
It's motivation.
Yeah.
Some days, a day like today when it's raining and it's cold and stuff, you can be out here for 13 hours, but if you know people, there's satisfaction in producing things, and if that contribution's appreciated, then it's motivation. Yeah. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Right, we know you've a 12-hour cannon. We're going to leave you in peace, but so we can't leave Andy without trying a beer. What are we going to have?
Yeah, it's a session IPA called No Drama.
Yeah.
3.8%.
Yeah.
We came out with it last summer.
Yeah.
There was, again, feedback from local bars. People were asking for something of a lower percentage.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation for producing it. Slightly hazy.
Yeah.
Using the juicy yeast from yourself, which was my first venture into that, which really pleased with the results. A little bit of dextrin malt, 3.8% is difficult to get a bit of body into, but I'm pleased with the way this has turned out. So yeah.
Tell us how you named it, because I like this story. I don't like the circumstances, but I like how it made me laugh, you know.
Could get me into a bit of trouble, but I will tell the story.
Yeah.
I was going to call it Going Steady, and I was brewing it, and in my mind I was thinking about, you know, the different meanings of going steady, whether it's dating or American or whatever else.
Yeah.
I'd been spending a lot of time in the brewery, and I was getting into a bit of trouble for spending so much time in the brewery.
Yeah.
And myself and Moira had a bit of an argument, and I was outside on my own barbecuing.
In the rain?
In the rain, yeah, exactly. It wasn't the best thing.
Yeah.
And I just sort of thought to myself, I just want no drama.
Yeah.
And then a light bulb moment went off, and I said, that's what I'm calling that beer.
Drama.
So again, another family contribution, and
we're sorry, Moira, but it's fun.
but people have enjoyed the name as well. So
yeah. Right, let's taste the beer. See what we're up against.
Good. So okay.
Yeah. Oh, it smells lovely. What hops have you in this?
So that there is the hops in here are Citra, Sabro, and Idaho 7.
Lovely, yeah. Real nice aroma on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's delicious. All we need is the sunshine. So it's a rainy Thursday, but that's a sunshine beer.
Yeah, it is a sunshine beer. A lot of people said that. I just dropped some over to Bullhouse East actually.
Yeah.
And the guys over there had said it and said, can't wait to drink that in the summer. So yes, we can pretend.
Yeah. So look, that's give you a little bit of an insight into Ormeau Brewing Company. We would really encourage you to show Andy and his family some love, give them some follows on the social channels. We'll put the tags in below in the description. If you're in the Ormeau area and you're in Northern Lights or the Vineyard or whatever, make sure you pick up one of his beers. Andy, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.